Alright, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to today's cast. We're going to be diving back into the sweet and sour and savory world of Total War Warhammer 3 with a hot, piping fresh new campaign. It's time, my friends. How we all doing here today? It is official. You have spoken, chat, and you have picked for our next campaign to be the Skaven. We may as well just kind of like talk through and kind of do a showing how to play while I also kind of like refigure out things as we go. It's been a while since we played Skaven and they've made a number of changes. Skaven features the Under Empire, establish warrens in any settlement, undermining your enemy's progress, or hide in plain sight while growing your own empire. Food. Maintain food supplies to gain growth and other bonuses and to avoid starvation penalties. Skaven corruption is a detriment to local control, but allows you to spawn additional units of clan rats to fight in local battles. Featuring, of course, Queek Headtaker, Lord Skrolk, Tretch Craventail, Ikit Claw, Deathmaster Snikch, and most recently added Throt the Unclean. You know, Throt always freaked me out with his non-symmetrical third arm. I always thought it made his posing look weird. We never normally play Clan Eshin. Clan Eshin, admittedly, to me, it hasn't been the most fun campaign. Ikit Claw has lots of fun stuff, and is himself a master warlock engineer. Pretty deadly combination. Pretty deadly combination of stuff. Tretch Craventail is an extremely boring character to me. The only thing I really know about him is that he imitates rocks on top of caverns, like stalagmites? Stalactites? One of those. And drops it on people. That's what I know about Tretch. It's got an interesting starting stuff, but I don't know. Lord Skrolk. I can't believe I'm saying this, but if there ever was a Skaven that needs a rework, it's probably him. The plague aspect of this character pales in comparison to the Nurgle factions, for sure. But it was a very interesting run back in the day. And then there's Queek Headtaker. I actually started collecting Skaven towards the end of my time playing Warhammer. I actually have, somewhere... actually, probably most of it got thrown out, unfortunately, but I did find my Queek Headtaker model and a couple of clan rats, so I wonder if there's some other things out there. Never had any weapons teams or war machines for the Skaven. I kind of figured that if I was going to make the investment in playing them, I would need the rats first, and so I tasked myself with getting that. Third guy from the top doesn't like tech. Yeah, that would be Tretch then. So I would say out of these 6, I would narrow it down to Skrolk, Ikit, and Throt. I have played Throt the least, because, well, he's the newest. I only kind of, like, played him at the beginning. But, with that said, we do have the new gaming PC, and I kind of want to test it out with particle effects. As we saw with Grom the Punch, the arrow effects actually did tame our PC. That's different, right? Lord Skrolk starting down there? My goodness. And Queek. Is this Nagashazar over here? And then so south of that must be... Lamia? Closer to Khalid's area? Maybe the in-between of the mountains? I'm thinking we're gonna go Ikit Claw. Ikit gains access to the clan Scryer Forbidden Workshop, plus 20% research rate. That's amazing. Loyalty plus 2 for new recruits. Construction cost minus 40% for engineering buildings. The Lord effect, upkeep, minus 50%. For Warplock Jezzails, Rattling Guns, and Warp Fire Thrower weapon team units. Recruit rank plus 2 for Skaven weapon teams units. They want you to use the weapon teams. Let's see. Clan Rats, Warplock Jezzails, Skaven Slaves, Rattling Guns, and Doom Flares to start off our adventure today. Here we go, guys. It's been a while since we played Skaven. Let's get it going. Demarcated from the Empire by the towering Black Mountains, the Border Prince's lands are ruled over by a loose association of fiefdoms and robber barons. To this lawless place come those who are unhappy with their status quo overseen by the Emperor and his elector counts, leaving for a better life in the borderlands. Often what is found, however, is a land more dangerous than their previous homes, where petty princelings war on each other. Farmsteads are raided by marauding greenskins or skittering ratmen, and bloodthirsty pirates from Sartosa come looking for plunder. Alright, Bellaquint Marsqueak. They start you with a Warlock Engineer, and Ikit himself is a Warlock Engineer, and he begins the campaign with the Iron Frame. A mighty metal frame encased the Warlock Engineer's body, giving him amazing strength, dexterity, and resistance against both physical and magical harm. We were so close to story time, chat. We were so close to story time. I have the Skaven Codex somewhere, but apparently I only have the Old Wood Elves and Old Dogs of War Codexes here. There is a Skaven one here somewhere. I was going to regale you with lore about Ikit Claw's Iron Frame. Basically, Ikit Claw was born a runt and a very weak, frail little ratling. And I also believe he suffered a grievous injury as well in his youth. And rats don't live that long as well. He invented the Iron Frame to try and, you know, overcome his handicaps and to do better in Skaven society and to survive. And so it actually gives him some pretty interesting combat bonuses. It brings him more in line with being just an above average Skaven. Doesn't really make him formidable enough to really go to toe with other lords. A little bit of interesting lore about that. One of his earliest inventions was in fact something to prolong and improve his quality of life. Godric Claw, who's that? There's the Forbidden Workshop. So for those of you guys who are getting down to playing Skaven campaigns, Ikit Claw has a specialty in changing out some of the stats and mechanics of a number of his devices, including Doom Flayers, Doom Wheels, weapon teams, and of course the almighty Doom Rockets. Ikit Claw also comes loaded with a single Warp Storm Doom Rocket. These cause absolutely tremendous damage on the battlefields. Entirely certain if this is the same Doom Rocket that used to blow up buildings? Or provinces? I believe that mechanic also exists. 25% chance to build an extra Doom Rocket in the Forbidden Workshop. I tried tunneling into this one just for RNG's sake, and I got like nothing. Very few procs of that. Weapons teams, though, are the ones that have got my eye, such as the Rattling Guns with their onboard waste capacitor. Endless drum for Rattling Guns. If the Rattling Gun is under 80% ammunition, they will just start to regenerate ammunition. Alright, so we'll be checking into this in a bit. Yeah, we're gonna be going down the Skaven slave path for all those tar pitting units. Local recruitment capacity +1. Upkeep, oh, minus 13% for Skaven slave unit? Damn. Upkeep's already gonna be dirt cheap. Huh, something to think about there. Let's see, boost steel technology. I probably want to use steel technology at any given point. But what I will do is embed him for this upcoming fight so that we can get a free level on him, basically. Pyrrhic victory against the Empire. Alright, well, we're not going to use the menace from below to start with, just because we don't need to. Although it would be nice to just show you guys how it works, but that's okay. Let's get down to it. Alright, so let's take a look at what we got down here. Hey. Get away from that fence. So this is the Rattling Gun teams. This is one of those units that makes me perfectly sure of myself that Warhammer 40k Total War will happen. Got like both heavy weapons teams and Necron tech basically in one for some of this stuff. Now, on the tabletop, here's what's interesting about this. I remember the first time I saw these weapon teams as a unit, and I almost lost my mind because when you field a unit of weapons teams on the tabletop, how many of these do you think you got, chat? 3? 6? Certainly not the 32 that you get. Well, the correct answer is actually 1. You actually got 1. One single weapon team. Just one of these, just Like, not two, not three, no backup. This guy and this guy, and that was all it was. You got one single weapon team. But it did enough damage that it basically may as well has been a whole battalion of them. It was one of the most interestingly overpowered feeling things on the tabletop. At least on the when you're on the receiving end of it. Same with Jezzails. As best my memory is serving me, a Jezzail team is just another pair of these Skaven making a single unit, not getting all of these. It was like a single shot sniper that you could field up into, like, I think you have like 3 or 5 or something like that maybe, but fielding one of them at a time is what you paid for. Never seen that unit? Yep, this is the Warplock Jezzail. It fires a warpstone laced bullet further than a Hawkland long rifle, which is no easy feat in that world. Got over here our units of Skaven slaves, which are literally just fodder. You will be using them to soak up the damage of more superior units. Now, the weapons teams can have some difficulty getting clear shots because they don't really have much of an arc. Oh yes, let's not forget over here. We've got our warp flayers. Oh, sorry, Doom Flayers. Doom Flayers, my bad. These are pretty vicious as well. Not as bad as the Doom Wheels, but they don't look very comfortable to pilot either, do they? I'm curious which is more deadly now, the Cathay Crane Gunners or the Skaven Rifles. It's... You can only really compare that in Total War because Cathay didn't have models on the tabletop. But typically speaking, in lore, Cathay had some reasonably advanced firearms. Unit of Skaven slaves over there. Actually, I think we're just gonna... I want to have the guns have a nice clear shot. I want to show them off, so... Let's just see what we got here. Alright, we've got some archers right there. And the rattling guns are gonna go over to here. You guys want to see what's an unfair existence in the Warhammer world? Fighting the Skaven is one of the worst things you can do. It seriously is. Between the disease and the plague and the radiation, it's awful. But they also have some of the most horrifying war machines that the world of Warhammer has ever seen. Literally including rotating barrel, radioactive machine gun fire. Even the Empire volley guns can't really sport that level of fire and terror when it comes to that. And they just, indeed, chew through. The problem, though, is the range and the arc. So we're gonna let them march up and do some of the heavy lifting here. Jezzail teams are rushing into combat for some reason. It's because I'm being silly. Probably gonna get the Doom Flayers to get some damage in as well. He's gonna blast them. Oh my god! Yep, the only thing worse than charging a rattling gun weapons team, the only thing worse than that is fleeing from one. Ugh. Look at that mega Chad in the front. Oh, there we go. Struck in the eye. Blind. Blinded. Other team is saying absolutely no thank you to that. Dear goodness. Ugh. And this is just 2 units of them. They're still in it though. They're not fleeing yet. They're mustering their courage. And there's the retreat. Does look like it's angling into the side of the unit though, doesn't it? Yep. Ridiculous firepower. So what we're doing, chat, is we're letting our fancy units get the levels here. Let's not forget about these bad boys. Just literal rotating blade saws into everything. Alright, Warplock Jezzails. Getting some shots in. Jezzails were actually, in my opinion, one of the best units in the Skaven army. They had an ability called Reliable for a Skaven's weapons team. It made it so that so basically, and again, I might butcher this. I'm trying to recall these rules off the top of my head. But whenever a weapons team or piece of siege equipment went into battle, they usually had a scatter die or a miscast die that you had to do to see if there was like an artillery blunder of some sort, usually on a 6-sided die. So when it came to the Jezzail weapon teams, they had an ability where if you rolled a 1 when using them, rather than rolling on the exploding chart of bad things that happened to you, they got to re-roll. So your Jezzails were essentially a unit that might not ever actually have any chance of blowing up, because the odds of you rolling the double 1s back to back are pretty low. Oh! Popping heads. Blasting arms off. They still want to go. They still want some, chat. Getting all that delicious experience points for our weapons teams. There you go. And don't come back. Does anyone else suddenly want steak? All the tenderized meat. Blasting them apart. Shields doing very little. Shields doing very little for them. Oh. You really hear the splash. Let's chase him down. It's like, damn, there's a whole other unit of guys that we want to get the extra EXP on. The officer trying to muster their men from the back. Almost got him. They'll have some stories to tell and some interesting scars to show off. Alright, yeah, so we're getting as much experience points as we can. Wee, 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 wee. It's probably the sounds they make. There we go. There we go, and get them down. Just like mowing a lawn, chat. Man, those fumes look nasty too coming out of that thing. Man, 3 bound uses of the brass orb, that's pretty good too, jeez. Just mowing the lawn, gonna get the extra. See there, I've got a level. We got a level on the Doom Flares, mission accomplished. And one of these weapons teams is already getting the level pretty quick. I'm gonna YOLO it and just do the level 3 one. Let's see how bad this goes. Cause yeah, now we get access to a tier 3 port, which only seems to generate 150 bucks. That ain't that great. 37 income generated? We'll see about that. What else we got over here? Everything's more expensive now. Although it's really not that expensive. Plus 30%. Like 600? Like, who cares? Warp fire throwers. We're gonna go ahead and get that built. Over here. This is really bringing me back to the tabletop days. You know, it's like sending Skaven slaves in without shields, because if a Skaven slave cost 2 points, like literally on the tabletop, if a Bretonnian knight is like 55 points, a Skaven slave is 2. 2. And a Skaven slave, and putting a shield on a Skaven slave is 1 point per model. Most Skaven players that I knew just got more Skaven slaves. So these guys are not meant to win combat. They are meant to just tar pit, and that's it. However, Skaven slaves with spears, being anti-large, did give you the most bang for your buck for them. So, in the interest of that, I think we will follow suit. Although, expanding under empires is only really if you intend not to take over something, right? We're gonna go ahead and steal some technology. let's see. So we have 5 warp fuel and 14 food. So for weapons teams, I think we want to go with the rattling guns, right? Everyone loves rattling guns. I also like warp fire throwers. I think they're really awesome looking. So let's do onboard waste capacitor so that we actually have endless drum for the ability on there. Ikit Claw, he's got a very, very nice tree here. As per usual, I usually go with Route Marcher. For Ikit, I might even consider Warp Lightning for the, it's just such a good spell. It just really is. Like, you're definitely going to be going down that tree. I'll take Route Marcher for the extra 5% movement speed, or movement distance. Milk his Centigores for diplomacy. Ugh! And Margarita is gone.
But I wanted to do it, yes, yes!
Holy shit, is that Felix? No, it's not. Skaven... Did it say besieged? Oh, infected. Well, Skaven Blight has themselves a plague now. Oh! Hell yeah! Hey, that's actually a pretty big deal. Taking out one of his heroes. Well done, you rat fink. Well done. So I know we had just moved, like, over to this spot, but I want to actually have a buffer zone from this guy. Although it looks like he can make it to me anyways. So that's probably not even really all that necessary. Oh hey, this is decisive victory now that we got everything here. I'm gonna fight it out. Alright. Warhead of the Shadow Gave! Lot of meat to be had. Let's get it. You know though, having a weapon team army reinforcing back here ain't the worst thing in the world. Wow, I didn't realize that the Herdstone battles was just gonna be a straight up fight. Like on like an underground type thing. It'll take him 5 minutes to get in here. Well, woo-wee! When they do, it'll be warp fire throwers. Alright. I think what we'll do as well is just have some Skaven slaves back up here. Wait a minute, if I can Vanguard... Wait, what? Maybe I'm thinking not big enough, chat. Maybe I'm not thinking big enough. Maybe I should put the weapons teams back here. It'll take 5 minutes for the... Wait, no, it won't. What am I thinking? Hold on a second. Here's what I'm gonna do. They might just turn around and crush our faces in. But what if I just did this, chat? What if I just put my teams? They gotta face the wrong way. Tangent's lost his mind. I see potential. I see it all, yes. I do think that the half the slinger should probably be in the front now, though, because of this. Alright, the way is appearing to be relatively safe. Dude, the Jezzail teams from the back are gonna be ridiculous. Alright, we begin with a bit of Skaven magic, such as the brass orb.
Yes, yes!
Terrible magics. This is such a great ability, especially early game. Brass orb will do some work.
And let us not forget, yes, yes, about Warp Lightning!
Warp Lightning, in my opinion, one of the nastiest spells on the tabletop. Whoa! Zap! A very reliable, high damaging spell. Skaven slaves are in the back, tossing out their barbs. We've already got Skaven slaves that are running. Alright, weapons teams are in range. And into the back they shoot. Warp Lightning already off of cooldown. Zap! Frenzied pigs here. Ikit trying to hold his own. I wonder how well this will do against them. Let's see. Can we get any good kills on them? Yeah, not its intended use. We have it came from below, but I'm kind of saving it at the moment. So I just started blasting. So it came from below to summon some extra Skavens. Not minding at all if we blast our own units to smithereens in the process. Alright, we got the brass orb. Toss that bad boy down over here. Slingers, what are you doing? Yes, yes! And there's the victory! Alright. But we don't just let them get away, though. We gotta blast them. Looks like my Jezzails fled off the table. Hopefully they didn't all die. There we go, get that beautiful experience! We'll need it for the coming battle, to be honest. Out of the way, Skaven slaves, lest you be blasted apart. Yeah, mowing through them. Trying to get those extra bits of experience points on our units here. Also because it's fun. Okay. That's a destroyed herdstone. Oof, my poor units I've been raining hell down on. That, I mean, on the tabletop, Skaven's advantage was the fact that they incurred no penalties for shooting into their own units. I'm trying to remember. I don't think you were prevented from doing it with other armies. Maybe you were for some of them. Like they'll be like, it's unchivalrous, it's evil. Your army wouldn't do this. But I think they just took heavy penalties to hitting if you did. I don't know. But Skaven had none such things. I'm gonna go to tier 3. We don't have access to any regiments of renown just yet. Alright. Corruption. Yeah, it's coming around here. We're getting there. Forbidden Workshop. So we need to get to level 2. We need the tractor beam, right? Warpstone tractor beam. Which will cost us $6,000 dues. So much going on! My goodness! So much! Alright, well, he's attacking... Oh man! Amazing! He's attacking the weaker unit first. It says decisive victory. I think it's actually going to be much harder than this. So I'm going to play it. I do wonder, though, if this Skaven assassin... Aura of Transmutation. He's vulnerable while it recharges. He's got like a shield or something? Oh, it just causes damage to things if you're near it. Ugh! Okay. So, Ikit Claw's weapon teams are gonna be reinforcements, which sounds awesome to join the battle late for that.